Close your eyes. This is the place where anything is possible. You want power? You want to be a god? Right through that door.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what the audition process was like.
The audition process was fun. It was a lot of hours. I remember, well, we both went into auditions separately, and then when we went in for the chemistry read, we were there for about 6 hours, so it was pretty intensely long.
Long day.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very, very long day, but I mean, it was pretty epic, too. We had a really incredible chemistry read. We went in together and did a couple scenes that we had prepared, and then our fantastic director of the first episode, Gina Prince-Bythewood, decided to pull a fast one on us, and she brought Aubrey out into the hallway and told him, hey, so listen, we're gonna do an improv scene based off of the scene, you know, that you did for us, and don't worry about it, Olivia will know what you're doing, it's all good, just go in there, do your thing. He was like, all right, and then he goes into the room, then she calls me out into the hallway, says the exact same thing, but vice versa, so both of us are thinking, okay.
So she's gonna have a prepared monologue, I'm gonna have a prepared scene or something, and literally we went in and we improvised a full scene.
And it was
like,
pretty magical.
yeah, by the end of it, we were both in tears. So it was one of those moments that you just never forget, and I feel like it was kind of the beginning of Cloak and Dagger, if I should say.
Yeah, it just felt very, I mean, it's very rare that you have instant chemistry with somebody that you have no idea who they are, where they come from, or you don't know anything about them. But you know, Gina put a lot of trust in us, and now here we are.
So how deep did you guys go into the backstory? What sort of research did you have to do for these characters?
Of course, reading the comics, because we'll be honest, like we definitely had no knowledge of Cloak and Dagger coming into it, but yeah, just getting familiar with the comics and familiar with the scenes, because really during the audition process, all we really had were the scenes. Like we didn't really get the script until maybe a week before for shooting and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really about just finding the humanity in the characters and the realness in the characters, and that was like one of the most important parts. You know, like they have superpowers, and that's going to be a great part of the show, but the most important part is just like who Tyrone and who Tandy is, you know?
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about shooting in New Orleans, because that's really a character in the show.
Aubrey always says that New Orleans is sort of like the series regular of the show as well.
Right.
And it is, it's, New Orleans really speaks to Tandy and Tyrone. It's a city that is constantly going through so much destruction, and it just keeps fighting back. And it's a city that always has hope. And I think that's something that Tandy and Tyrone are going through as well. You know, they're dealing with a lot, but they are constantly striving for that hope in their lives. And then personally, I just feel like stylistically and cinematically, it's just so effortlessly cool. And there were so many exterior shots of Tandy and Tyrone and some of the other cast walking around the city of New Orleans, and you can just feel the energy there just by watching the show, and it's pretty epic.
Are there any little Marvel Easter eggs that we should be looking out for?
I will say Roxanne plays a big part in the show, but that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to get in trouble. So.
That's what I'm doing, I'm trying to get everybody in trouble.
Right.
And what is it about the show that you think is going to hook viewers?
I really would say just Tyrone and Tandy and the relationship, really, because obviously we watch a superhero show for the superpowers, but they just have a phenomenal relationship and a phenomenal story. So yeah, that's what I would definitely say.
Yeah, I think this show is a game changer in so many ways. We really focus and hit some really heavy topics, and I think that that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to and connect with. We focus on so many things, such as sexual assault, police brutality, addiction, and so much more. And the way that we do it is so effortless, and it's not forced, it's not preachy or in your face. We do it in a way that's authentic and not glamorized. We don't want to throw things under the rug. We want to be able to open up and have a conversation, and I think this story is very conversational. And yes, it's about two kids who end up developing these gnarly superpowers, but it's also about these two kids who are dealing with a lot right now, and They have to not just learn how to cope with their powers, but also learn how to cope with the things that are happening in their own lives.
I think we need to talk.